All right, everybody, we're going to be jumping in to our top Luke Skywalker moments. Aaron, I have a decent amount here, so I say we're going to start with you.
Okay.
And then
you have a lot of them.
and if any of them
you wanna
double up,
pick
I got some alternates.
You don't want to pick the same ones I have. You want some other ones.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
I will say I had trouble with this
Yeah,
I
trouble.
don't know if I have a lot of like favorite Luke Skywalker moments. Like I like Luke Skywalker, but I was trying to think about this, and I'm like, you know what? There's not a lot of moments that are like, this is, oh man, that's so cool, or I really like this, or it's my favorite thing here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird trying to pick which one they were.
Okay.
Like, and I guess also I was like, oh man, I could always be like, oh, when he said like, no, I'm a Jedi like my dad, and I'm like, that's a good important moment for Star Wars, but like, is it my favorite Luke moment? I don't know. It was hard to like wrap my head around some of these.
Okay.
So like,
well, I'm really interested in what is it on your list then.
all right.
It was relatively easy for me.
Well,
I also identify with Luke so much. Like I literally was
I'm
a
a farm boy.
I literally was that guy that could do nothing but play with swords and dream about the future.
Gotcha. No, I think the more and more I look into Star Wars, the more I find that like the prequel era was like stronger for me in Star Wars
Well, it makes a lot of
than
sense.
the original trilogy was, maybe.
Considering when it came out at your age.
Yeah,
I think that makes a lot of sense.
So maybe I have more connections there with characters and stuff too, but no, so like in trying to figure out if like my dad before me is like my like one of my favorite moments, instead I went with number 5 as tickling Rey.
With the read?
When I was trying to think of like
do you feel that?
different moments, for some reason that one popped into my head of like one of my favorite like Luke moments, and I don't know why.
Like when he slaps her with the reed and stuff.
Yeah, where she's like, "Yeah, I do feel it, I do," and he's like, "Ah."
No, that's legitimately one of my favorite moments too. I have that as an alternate.
"Do you?"
Yeah,
Okay.
Luke training Rey.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, that one I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool," not a really cool one, but it's like just it's a very Luke. I don't know. It's more a Mark Hamill thing, I guess.
Mark
I don't
Hamill
know.
plays grumpy old man so well.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe that's it. Like there's like the Mark Hamill-ness of that moment like got me really good. I don't know.
Gotcha.
So that was
All right.
I pulled the rug out from under you. On
No,
that,
you
didn't
did. I mean, like I said, I have that, but it's like far down my list. But I quite enjoy that one too. Okay, so that's gonna be your number 5.
Yeah, that's my 5.
Okay.
I'll fight you for 1.
Okay. My number 5 is going to be the Battlefront II campaign, when it's very brief, but Del is the character that you're with in that one brief section where Luke shows up, and that always stuck out to me as like, man, whoever wrote this scene understands Luke Skywalker, because Del is an Imperial agent and he's doing Imperial work, and he has this great moment where he asks Luke like, why did you help me? And Luke just responds, because you asked. And it just it's cool to see Luke as a Jedi in his prime. Another moment, which is going to be on my list later, Prime Luke. But I just love the peek into that era there, smack in the middle of a game that has nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
I spent some time trying to think of like Luke in video games,
Okay,
and like
sure.
it didn't. I didn't have any good. I even was looking at like, oh man, I used to play Rogue Squadron. Do I have any moments in like Rogue Squadron where like I feel like Luke was around somewhere, but like, is there a favorite moment from him there? And I couldn't think and find one.
I have a lot of Luke Skywalker video game moments, but I tend to try to keep non-canon moments off my list.
Sure,
for
that was
this.
my other thing where I'm like, even if I find it, it's not necessarily canon anymore or anything. So, all right. Well, my number 4 then will be the Force projection moment of The Last Jedi.
Damn. Okay.
Like, I think that's a moment too where like
That's my number 2.
that's your number 2.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I think it's a fun moment for watching, but also like just in the power that he's using.
Yeah.
I think it's cool to like have that realization happen, the little clues that are in that moment that is there with what you're seeing and what's happening. But also just like that fight moment is really good too.
I love moments in movies that you really can only experience once. Every other time, you're going to experience it a completely different way because you're going to be looking at all those every time. But the first time you watch that movie and you realize he's not there, it hits you so hard.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons that Last Jedi is one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And that moment is fantastic.
And you can also kind of pull in the little bit when he stops by and talks to Leia, which is really good too, because I think that's the only time in the sequel trilogy that those two really interact.
Yeah.
Unless you kind of count like that flashback, like
their
training moment. But that's the what no one's ever really gone kind of moment. I like that a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, so much rides on that moment hitting well because the whole. I mean, some people don't like this, but the whole point of that character in that movie is that his legend is held at such high esteem that when he fails so hard because Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master, can't fail. You can't do it. We can't have this happen again. But when it does happen, and it completely breaks him, and that's what makes the conversation with Yoda resonate so hard. That failure is the greatest teacher. But then also, like, when he says, like, what, you just expect that I can just go and fight the entire First Order army? I can't do that. We're not gods. We're people. We're shepherds. We try to help when we can, but we can't do that. But Luke figures out a way for his story to continue. Even though he's not actually doing that, he finds a way to do it. And it's such an incredible...
buys time for the others to get out, right?
He does, and it might be the greatest feat of the Force we've ever seen in Star Wars. I mean, he projects himself across the galaxy, and not only that, he keeps the projection of, like, Han's dice, like, beyond his death. Like, he dies, becomes one with the Force, and Kylo still has that until almost the very end of the movie, in which case it disappears, It might be the most powerful use of the Force we've ever seen.
Sure, yeah. No, that one's really, really strong.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also, like, the Han Solo's, like, return is, like, a really good one, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Anakin might have done some stuff, but I don't know if I don't know. He held he's like stopping the brother and the sister and stuff at different points, wasn't he? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, he was.
How strong do you have to be to do that? I don't know.
No, I'm when I say that, I don't want to rank the moments. I suppose.
Yeah, I get you. But no, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's a crazy moment that we've never they force beat, but they never did again. Why? It'd be a problem.
But for me, its true power is that it's Luke actually doing what he thought for the last how many years cannot be done. He's like, I actually can use the story of Luke Skywalker because nobody showed up to help the rebels. Like, Leia put the call out, no one shows up. But because he does that, the next time they call for help, everyone shows up, Even at the very end of that movie, those kids who are at Canto Bight, under the oppression of the slave master there, they're still telling the story of Luke Skywalker, which is what the original trilogy was for the kids of the 70s and 80s. It was their hero to get through hard times. And I love that was put into the film for 2 generations later to experience.
For the galaxy.
Yeah. Okay, that was your number 4. Let's see here. I'm going to say my number 4 then is... obviously Empire Strikes Back has so many fantastic moments. Luke learning that Vader is his father is crazy. But I love the choice that with No Way Out, with the revelation that Vader is his father, and with the hey, you're going to join the dark side and join me, Luke would rather die. When he falls to his death, he thinks I'm dead. He doesn't know he's going to survive. We don't, will of the Force, all that type of thing. He just is like, no, I literally would rather die than this happen. He just lets go. I think it's a pretty baller way to go out. Granted, he didn't go out, but I think he thought he was going to.
Yeah.
He's like, especially a kid who grew up probably every day asking, who's my dad? Who's my mom? Where do I come from? What does Skywalker mean?
Yeah.
When suddenly given hey, I'm going to give you an answer to that question, and you're going to hate it, and it sucks. And now I'm also giving you the power of the entire galaxy. Just reach out your hand, and Luke just falls.
Yeah, let me go get it.
Yeah. So I would say that's probably going to be in mine right there. I love that moment.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't love that they added him screaming.
What do you mean?
One of the versions, like it used to be that he fell silently.
Oh, now he's like, ah!
And then another one, it was Luke falling, but it was just Palpatine's scream.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember this. Is it in the current like Disney streaming ones or no?
I don't know if it's in the current one or not. But at the very least, was it the special edition that added the scream? And when I understand, that is just George Lucas. But all right, I want him to scream now. All right, bring up all the sounds of screams we have, and they just picked one, and I'm pretty sure it's
Really?
It's
I've never noticed
Ian
it.
McDermott screaming from Episode 6.
Okay.
In which case, it distracts me every single time I would watch it.
Yeah, I don't think I ever.
But
noticed
that doesn't
it anywhere.
remove the enjoyment or the respect I have for Luke being like, you think you have me cornered, like I still have one way out. You know, the Sith reject death, and they're the ultimate greedy people that want to live forever. Luke was like, I'd rather die. You know?
Yeah, sure. 1997 special edition.
Special edition.
Man, I had the special edition. I don't remember him yelling when he jumped. Though I usually watch the original on my VHS, so I don't know.
I mean, I can try to find it real quick.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
I believe you.
But when you hear it and I say, listen for Palpatine, you'll understand.
All right. I don't know. My number 3, I guess, is also gonna be from The Last Jedi. I think with Luke and Yoda.
Ooh, okay.
The moment where Luke is like,
the sacred text.
yeah, like he's like, I'm done with this. I'm destroying the Jedi. I'm destroying the tree. And Yoda's like, okay. And he goes up there, and Luke hesitates. He's like, you know, like you talked before about like what the legend of Luke is, and like what, you know, he's like, what's the Jedi? And what the Jedi have ruined so much, and I need to get rid of this because then the Jedi follow the dark side. You know, like he's trying to figure out like what the solution should be, and then he's like so determined to do it, and he stops, and he can't do it. And then Yoda's like, all right.
I know.
And he blows it up. And I also, this might be more Yoda, but I love him like,
yeah, with his feet.
Kicking his little feet.
Well, I mean, because there's something about the way Mark Hamill is so good with his voice, but he falls right back into Empire Strikes Back. Master Yoda, you know, like there's this old grumpy man, jaded, thinking like, I made the same mistakes, you know, that I always said I never would make.
Mm-hmm.
But right there, he like falls back to being an apprentice, just in his tone of voice alone.
Well, I love Yoda showing him like, young Skywalker.
Yeah.
You know, he still calls him young Skywalker, but he's young to him.
Yeah.
But
everyone's young to him.
But like, just the conversation there, and like, you know, when you were talking about the falling of Luke, the legend, and like he falls hard because he was set so high. Like, I feel like Yoda also can relate to that, being like on the council, the master there, and having to fight the Emperor and losing, and then like, to exile I go, you know, I failed, I couldn't, and now like he feels the weight of the loss of the Jedi also resides on him a bit, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's some relation there to like, I think people looked up to Yoda as like, maybe not like a legend, but like, that's Master Yoda, you know? He's been around for hundreds of years, and he's taught so many Jedi, or, you know, all that kind of stuff, and he failed. He couldn't. So he goes and hides in a swamp, you know? Like, there's nothing else he can do.
To
like,
exile, I must go.
Yeah. Like, and I think Luke can also really relate to that, but I don't think he knows all that. So maybe more so Yoda can relate to what Luke's going through right now, because he exiles himself to this island of Octu, you know?
I mean, it's very similar, though I would say that Luke's is a little tiny bit more personal, because his is like Leia trusted me with her son.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
His is more direct in what he did do or didn't do in his actions, versus like Yoda was like, we couldn't see, we were too arrogant as Jedi, as a people, versus just being solely all of his responsibility, and then he couldn't beat this guy.
Yeah.
So I think there's some relations there, but yeah, I think Luke's is a lot tougher.
Yeah.
And I also really just like the what's it called? I like the 3 version of his story of like, it was this, and then it's like, it was this, and he's like, you know, gonna kill him. The other one, he's like, I don't know what to do, and then he looks at Ben, and Ben's like, I'm gonna kill you. You know, like, I just like the different versions of their perspectives of the stories, and it's like, well, it's somewhere in the middle.
And that one moment of like, hey, I could actually end this. I could stop this suffering. Like when Luke sees the suffering of Han and Leia in Empire Strikes Back, he ignores what Yoda and Obi-Wan, his two mentors tell him to do. Stay. Do not do this. And he goes, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to help my friends. That's what I do. I take action and I stop the evil from happening. That's exactly the temptation Luke felt when he sees his corrupted nephew. Literally, he can see the future and see all the things that he's going to do. And just for one moment, it's like, I can put a stop to this. And that's the moment that stops or crushes everything. You know, we like to compare that moment to episode 6 when he doesn't kill Vader, but he's not presented the same thing. In that one, he's forgiving someone that's done something terrible. In this one, he's stopping someone from doing something terrible.
Sure.
If he had the ability to go back and kill and stop Anakin before he became Vader, I'm sure Luke would have hesitated longer than he did for Kylo Ren. I'll tell you that.
Maybe it's the difference of like knowing the future or a vision of the future and being like it's always in motion.
Exactly.
Like with it always being in motion, he may have set it in motion with his moment there, right? Versus like if he could somehow go back in time knowing what happened, like, well, I know this is what's going to happen. I wasn't here before. I can stop it from happening and change what the future is too. So,
I always like. Have you ever heard of you guys are watching The Good Place, so you've heard of the trolley problem.
Yeah.
Which in philosophy is just a way of trying to, well, what do you value and what action would you take, right? But the thing that you don't really often talk about in the trolley problem is that you have to make that decision in like 2 seconds.
Sure.
You don't have time to think about it. And it's the same thing that happened with Luke. When he's there and he gets that vision, it happens in 2 seconds, you know? Anyway, we could talk about Luke Skywalker a lot. We're going to continue. When was that for you?
3.
That was 3. Okay. I am going to go.
Oh, did we have the Luke yelling sound? Did you want to do that?
Oh yeah, let's listen. I want now that this is up. Can you hear Palpatine with this? No sound. Gonk, there's no sound.
Had sound earlier.
It did have sound earlier.
Come with me. It is the only way.
I mean, I don't specifically hear Palpatine, but man, I do not remember
I'm pretty
that.
sure that's the same sound that when Palpatine falls in Episode 6.
I don't remember that.
It's like a
at all.
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the silent fall myself.
I guess I always think of it as being silent, but maybe that's because like I watched it the most on the original. And then I had the special edition, but then I also like the Blu-rays came out, and if they changed it back then I'm like, okay, well, I had the Blu-rays and I had streaming for Disney Plus and stuff, and because I'm like, I just watched through them all like I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago with the kids. I don't remember that being there, so it must have been not on the streaming side of things.
I also apologize to everybody that every time you watch that version, you will now only think of that and not think of that what's actually happening. You'll think Palpatine's voice.
Yeah, you ruined that. Why do you do that?
It's similar to like when you watch Lord of the Rings and you have that moment when Viggo Mortensen kicks the helmet. It's like I can't never think about that Viggo Mortensen actually just broke his toe in that.
So stop bringing meta stuff into this and enjoy the movie.
No. All right, I'll enjoy the movies with my next one, which is this is my 2?
3.
This is my 3rd. I'm going to go with...
You have like 20 over there, Eric. Pick one.
This is another Empire Strikes Back one. I really like the moment. It's after what we just saw with the yell. Luke, like, is hearing Vader in his mind. Like, you know, he immediately says, Father. You know, like, he already accepted it in that way. I like his grief when he like realizes his mentor lied to him. Ben, why didn't you tell me? I really like that. You don't get that, and we don't get to sit in it very long, but I really like that moment for his character where he realizes that not only do I have to doubt everything in my life, I have to doubt my mentors, my authority figures, the people that are supposed to love and care about and protect me. Like, am I being used?
Hmm.
I'm like, well, why wouldn't they tell me something so important? I really like that moment for him, for his character. So that goes up there high for me. A lot of moments you get, yeah, Luke Skywalker, but you don't often get Luke doubting himself like that in the original trilogy.
Sure.
So I would say that one's pretty far up there.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Because that's around the time, and then he's like, Leia, right?
Yeah.
And like he reaches out to her, or is that?
Well, that's
it's on the Falcon.
It's on
when
the
he's
Falcon
like,
later.
He's like,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Ben,
okay,
why didn't you tell me?
yeah, okay. He's resting. His arms already. Like,
Yeah.
After Lando gets him.
Yep. Really like that. I am doing a little bit of reordering just because you did.
I took something from you.
Took some of mine. Yeah.
Well, why don't you just tell me what your 5 were, and then you can just mention all the things you liked otherwise.
Gotcha. You're right.
All right, here's my list of honorable mentions. I got 10 more.
Yeah.
2 for me, I'm gonna go to Return of the Jedi, and not counting the hologram, Luke's first time showing up in the movie. Like he enters Jabba's palace.
The whole intro
like
scene
that full like him showing up, like all the way to like the Rancor fight. Like that whole like moment with Luke, I think is great. Like one, it opens and he's cloaked and wearing black, and it's much more of like a Darth Vader kind of feel. Like almost to the like where you think maybe Vader's showing up, not Luke Skywalker, and he chokes Gamorreans and stuff, and you're like,
pigs.
This seems dark. Isn't choking a bad guy thing?
Wearing complete black, hooded.
Yeah,
coming
through,
giving away his droids.
Yeah, like it feels like oh man, who is this Luke? Has he turned more the dark side?
Like
Did
learning about his dad actually change things?
Yeah. It kind of like if you've seen. When I watched through with my kids, we watched, chronologically. So we watched Rebels, and then we went into the original trilogy. And you have a little bit of that Ezra stuff when, there's some darker things that have happened in his life, and now he's got a little bit more of a darkness in him than he used to in maybe the first 2 seasons. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that, or that reminds me a little bit of this, I guess, depending on which way you're watching it.
Sure.
But that, and then leading all the way up to him, saberless fighting a Rancor, which is something that we've had, what's that noise down there? We sent that one Twi'lek down there, and it just screamed, and now we get to actually see the creature, and we get to watch Luke fight to survive, and it's a cool, actual monster fight moment.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I love
using the bone to keep the mouth open. He literally throws a skull to kill the Rancor.
Yeah,
that's so metal.
Yeah, just that whole moment from him showing up to having that Rancor fight, I think is just one of my favorite moments of Luke Skywalker. From you questioning who he is and why he's here.
Yeah,
him Jedi mind tricking Bib Fortuna, Jabba being like, "You weak-minded fool," I really like that scene, and I think for me, I really like Return of the Jedi. But I think up until there, it's a little slower, kind of getting you into what's going on, and then you get Luke. It's like a lot of people talk about that whole Jabba section being kind of a cold open, like James Bond, before you get into and let's get into the movie.
Sure.
But that's now James Bond is showing up. You've been set up and showing you how scummy and everything is, and you don't know who Bouche is for a little while and all this stuff, and then eventually everyone starts showing up, and then Luke shows up.
It's awesome. And then Luke shows up. What a perfect segue into my next one. The barge scene from Return of the Jedi. Every moment, Luke Skywalker was always the young boy, trying to become an ideal, to achieve something. And it isn't until we see him fail, and we see him get tricked by Vader. We see him, he pulls off the Death Star move, but it's kind of by the seat of his pants, and he loses a lot of people, and he's not necessarily in control. He's super lucky. And you think, oh man, the movie just started, and we're already captured, and we're going to be executed, and then just the signal, and you realize that Luke had been in control the entire time. At this moment, he is a Jedi Knight, fully in his element. When he gives that off and then ignites his green lightsaber for the first time, it's magic for me. I love introspective Luke. I love Luke, going through his feels. But Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, the story that children tell all around the galaxy, I don't think he's ever been more on display in a movie than in that moment.
Sure. Free us or die.
Yeah, like I love it so much. Like I fully accept that he force kicks somebody because he does a kick and it doesn't connect. I just say it's a force kick. Why can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love how it goes from, oh my God, our hero's gonna die, to you forgot this is Luke Skywalker, and you doubted him for a second. You thought he was going dark side.
Mm-hmm.
He is, one of my favorite moments. I absolutely love the barge scene.
I only have one issue in that whole scene, and I don't know if we talked about it before or not, but I never understood what he was doing when he got shot in his hand.
We did. We talked about this before.
Okay.
Yeah, that he puts his hand up and he gets shot.
He's holding his saber up like this, and I'm like, and he brings it down. Like, what was he doing up there? Like,
we talked about how it's possible that sometimes Jedi will block blaster bolts that were never going to hit them, so that they can redirect them back at somebody. So he could have been going up to get like a stray bolt.
It felt like is it the original Star Wars poster where it's like, maybe it's Return of the Jedi, where he's like holding his saber up and like Leia's like laying one, down, and like I'm like, maybe he was trying to do that pose. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing, but
sure, I get you.
That was the only thing in that whole scene where every time I got to that, I'm like, what was he doing? What was that?
Yeah.
And I've had that in fight scenes before.
I mean, I'll be able to find one of those moments in every single scene, but that's definitely one of the glaring ones in that one. I will admit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest
and
of that, I love.
And the force kick.
Force kick.
For me, the force kick is more egregious.
Yeah.
Because it's clear that nothing intended happened. Whereas there was an intention, it just was a weird choice.
Sure. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know the intention there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway. All right. Well, then going to number one. We can just share this one, I assume.
We could.
Because you haven't mentioned it yet, and I'm assuming it's on your list.
I can pivot.
You can pivot. Is your number one The Rescue?
The Rescue.
That was my number one. It was the first moment I thought.
One X-Wing.
And I don't, just the whole moment. And maybe that's also a little bit more recent and stuff too, but like, I don't necessarily love like all the things with Luke and Grogu and all that kind of stuff too, but that moment there when it's slowly being revealed, and maybe it's kind of like this one before with the Rancor fight and like him coming up and like, wait, is this Luke? Oh man, is he dark side? Like this is like one X-Wing. Why is there one X-Wing? Wait, there's one X-Wing? Who flies an X-Wing?
Who flies in one X-Wing?
Who's one X-Wing flying around the galaxy? What do you mean? What's going on here? And then like you keep like as you watch, and there's a little bit more and a little bit more, and now it's in color, and now it's a green saber, and you're like, oh my god! Like that whole moment, like
it's etched in time. It's another one. This is what we were saying earlier. You will never watch that for the first time ever again. Mm-hmm. You're always gonna know it's Luke Skywalker, but the first moment. Like, everybody, when you watch reactions to that, everybody, like, thinks it's Luke at different times, because that's what they had to do. They were working up.
Yeah.
Because...
You're getting the little hints.
Yeah, you're getting the hints, and, like, it's just this anticipation. But by the time you realize, or you confirm it's Luke, like, your heart has already accepted before your brain says, that's Luke Skywalker. Mm-hmm. You can just feel it. And I love that it's different for everybody. When they, when we watched it, we were like, one X-Wing? They can only be one person, But like I said, I love watching reactions because it takes a bit. Sometimes when people see the green lightsaber. Sometimes when he shows up in the elevator, For some people, it's when it actually puts down his hood. Sure. But what an amazing moment and you could say like, well, it's recency bias or something, but I don't think so. That moment is special for you and me. Because it's like wish fulfillment. We get to see Luke Skywalker in his prime, just by the nature of George Lucas not making sequels while Mark Hamill was that age.
Yeah.
Like, I just never thought I'd get to see that. Yeah. I had to only imagine what it would be like when I would read the EU.
Sure.
Or
when you're reading Heir to the Empire, like, here's Luke in his prime. What can he do? Or
But, I mean, that moment is so special. I also love that it's a lot of my Star Wars moments are from when I was a childhood, but that one is firmly rooted with my friends. You know, I can't not think of that moment and not think of you guys there with me. Yeah. Such an amazing musical moment. He gets his hallway scene. They spend a long time showing like, hey, Dark Troopers, like, it sucks to fight them. Like, just one is such an issue, and he cuts through 200.
He had no problem.
Nothing,
Goes through them all.
One of my alternates was from the EU where Luke Skywalker. It's technically Luke versus Darth Caedus, who is Jason Solo at the end of Legacy of the Force, and Darth Caedus is one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. He's far more powerful than any Jedi Master in Luke's order. But when Luke shows up to confront him, Caedus like is pinned to his seat. He literally cannot stand Luke's presence is that powerful. It's a cool moment, but it doesn't really like hit me as something like this, where we're showing Luke's power, but we're doing it in this like puzzle box way, where you don't really know. Even if you think it's Luke Skywalker, you're getting like a piece of evidence and then piece of evidence and then piece of evidence, and then bam, we have to sell you on it before you see him because it doesn't really look like Luke Skywalker.
Sure,
yeah. There's a part of me that I can see it with like deep fakes on YouTube, but I kind of wish they would special edition that with the effects that they're capable of in Book of Boba.
I mean, the way they've done
Book
stuff
of Boba Fett.
on the Disney Plus stuff, like
not just do it?
maybe they'll do that and just, hey guys, we're gonna upgrade this a little bit. But no, I think you're right. Like I remember the first time watching it, later with rewatching and stuff like that too, I'm like, okay, it doesn't look as much Luke like as my first time watching, where I was like, I'm sold. Yeah. This is Luke, and when you tell me like, oh my god, it's Luke. Look, it's Luke. Look at him.
Absolutely.
And then like as I watched it more, and like kind of that, I guess the magic has kind of like faded a little bit.
Sure.
Already knowing who it is and everything,
Yeah.
and then I'm watching it already knowing, not like adrenaline rushing because I'm so excited, and I'm like, okay, I can see more scenes now than I used to be able to.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be against them. Like we can touch it up a little bit more.
Same. But again, the value of that scene and why it's so high on my list, and it is technically my number one.
I figured. I'm like, this has to be our number ones, right?
Yeah.
I imagine it has to be.
Yeah. But I will pivot for mine and go to I am a Jedi like my father before me. Return of the Jedi. Luke looking down, at his cybernetic hand after he has chopped his father's off and realizing, oh my God, this path of anger leads me here. I can't do this. I can't fall in this trap. What do I do? The only thing to do is not be a super powerful Jedi. It's not, repulse, lightning with my hands. It's literally show compassion to my father, something that no one has done since Revenge of the Sith. Show true compassion to my father. That's what saves his life. That's what kills the Emperor, And my favorite part of that is the Emperor's response. The Emperor, he's always, mocking people, but he responds to Luke so seriously. So be it, Jedi. In that moment, it's maybe not appropriate because it's coming from a Sith Lord, but I feel like that's when Luke became a Jedi. When Yoda says, or when Luke says to Yoda, so I am a Jedi, he's like, oh, not yet. You got to confront Darth Vader again. I think that Palpatine saying, so be it, Jedi, is as good as a master saying, oh, you are now a Jedi Knight.
Sure. It's the confrontation from Luke, right?
Yeah.
It's him making his decision of where he's going. There's still that, and maybe Yoda's looked into the future, and it's hard to tell exactly what's happened, but he can see a world where he joins his father. Yeah. He can also see a world where he doesn't join his father, and that decision has to be made, and it's not until that moment that decision's made, and then Palpatine's there to confirm it of fine, Jedi, right. And he tries to take him out,
Throws his weapon away.
Yeah.
Which, in retrospect, now that we've seen all these things, since, I kind of think there's this imaginary conversation between Ghost Yoda and Ghost Obi-Wan. It's teach him about lightsaber repelling with that. You did not. And only teaching with not repelling with your hands. You did not.
Yeah,
why didn't you tell him about that?
Why don't you can do this? Stop the lightning.
The one thing he could use to stop that lightning, he throws away.
Did Luke know he had lightning at that point?
No.
No
one did.
I don't know.
I didn't.
I don't know if anyone told him he could do that.
I don't think so.
If Yoda's hey, he might shoot lightning at you. Be ready.
I mean, I don't know. They tend to keep information away, but also
certain points of view.
The point in which Obi-Wan and Yoda are in the original trilogy they trust in the Force. They don't need to tell him exactly what to do. They have faith he will do what needs to be done, and he does, in an act of compassion, refusing to fight his father. instead of fighting evil, he will find the good in him, you know? And to do it in front of the most evil man, most powerful man in the galaxy as a big, like, F you. I love it. I love how serious and angry it makes Palpatine. So be it. Jedi, you know? It's like, no matter what happens, because ultimately whatever happens in here doesn't matter because the ships out there are going to blow this place up or they're not. But, like, in that moment, Palpatine lost. Not when he died, like when he failed to turn Luke Skywalker because he is a Jedi like his father before him.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll probably be my number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Did you need to mention anything else?
I mean, Binary Sunset, I think, is an important moment for a lot of people. It's not necessarily important to Luke.
No, I don't think it's important to Luke. And
You know?
I like the moment later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, first time watching, I'm like, oh, that's pretty. But I think now, like, the music and everything, like, it sits with you a bit more of him standing up there and stuff. And especially when they, like, acknowledge it in episode 3.
Yeah.
And kind of, like, recreate that. And you're like, oh, man, it's like Luke, you know?
I do think it's been homaged and recreated too much.
Too much?
Like, it happens in episode 3, and I think that's very appropriate. And then it happens kind of in episode 8, where, like, Luke is dying, but he sees the two suns setting, and he, like, you know, I'm ending like I started, you know? But then they also kind of do it with Rey at the end of episode 9. It's the same binary sunset again, you know? I just felt like there's too many trying to capture that moment. But they're doing it because it is such a moment, you know? It is quintessential Star Wars.
Sure.
It's also a moment where music overtakes all else.
Sure.
And I just love those moments.
Very musical.
You know? Yeah. So the Binary Sunset is very much up there.
I think that's a good one. I also like, on the opposite side of things, when Luke takes out an AT-AT all alone by himself.
Yeah.
Like, that was definitely one that I thought of when I'm just like, oh, yeah, his ship's crashed. Now what's he going to do? And he runs up.
yeah.
Jeez, man. Okay.
Right?
He got one. Good job.
This is for Deck.
Yeah. I just think it's crazy that he was able to do all that.
No,
That's pretty high, you know?
That's a fantastic one. I mean, it kind of reminds me of another one on my alternates. This is more of a Legends one, but it's from Dark Empire, where Luke is a little bit more dark side, but he also takes on an AT-AT, but with his lightsaber, he literally reflects it back at them. But he's so powerful at that point, he can do that. Pretty cool moment too.
That's sweet.
But I prefer yours.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Like, just knock it back. But no, and speaking of Hoth and stuff too, I'm glad that he was able to come back after his motorcycle accident, and that they were able to, like, just make things work and everything for that too. So, and I'm glad his motorcycle accident, I don't know, wasn't as bad as it could be in a motorcycle accident. But I was talking with Melanie and stuff about that. And she goes, man, I'm so glad he came back from that motorcycle accident and was able to continue playing Luke Skywalker. I'm like, you know what? You got a good point. Yeah, I'm glad he was able to too, because, like, not having Luke or having to, like, change things up because of that would have been. It's not a world I live in. I live in this world. I'm so glad to have Mark Hamill be able to be Luke Skywalker.
Agreed. Another small alternate one that I had was Luke raising the X-wing in Episode 9.
Sure.
It's a little bit more meta of an enjoyment moment. I mean, it obviously Luke would appreciate it. Rey wouldn't appreciate it. We, the audience, I think, appreciate it more. So it's not super high on my list, but I do like that moment as well.
He also fails, right? So,
well, in Episode 9.
Oh, in 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he doesn't fail to do it.
Okay, I see.
When he realizes, like, I'm the Yoda now. You know?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of it in Empire. I'm like, oh, that's more of a Yoda moment there. But yeah.
But it's not super high on my list because it does reek a little bit more of fan service than it does, like, a genuine feel sometimes.
Sure.
To me.
I like being service though.
I do, but there are some times where it hits me too hard, the fan service feel. Like when they give the medal to Chewie finally,
Sure.
Like, I get what you're doing, but that really feels like you're throwing a wink to the audience in a way that isn't necessarily something the characters would care about too much, you know?
Sure.
Which, I mean, if you're going to do something like that, it has to mean something to the characters. It's one of the reasons I abhorred the ending of the Flash movie, because it had all of this fan service for, like, Nick Cage Superman and Christopher Reeve Superman. And it's like, oh, okay.
Why?
This doesn't matter to the characters. It only matters to me. So it doesn't ring true, So So I kind of feel that way a little bit with those two things.
Was it Maz that gave him that? Who gave Chewie that? Do you remember?
It's at the end of episode 9, right?
Yeah, it is.
I think so.
Because the reason I ask is, like, wasn't there a book that we did where, like, it was The Force Collector, wasn't it? Where it's like, here's this medal.
Oh,
like,
yeah, the fake medal. Yeah.
And it's like, Maz has it, and Han Solo gave it to her, but it was Luke's medal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, man, so she had what she thought was Han Solo's medal, and ended up being Luke's medal, and then she gave that to Chewie?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
I think so.
So
like
did
that.
Chewie get Luke's medal?
Maybe.
So, but no, I get what you mean. Like, sometimes fan service, just for fan service, like, you want to have a meaning with the fan service.
Yeah, it has
right?
to have utility for the character in the story, not just to wink at fans.
Sure,
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Mhm.
Like, is it fan service that Cad Bane is the bounty hunter that shows up to shoot Cobb Vanth? Yes, but is it also part of the story and important?
Yeah.
Yes. Like, you could have made it some other bounty hunter, and it would have worked too.
Yeah.
But because of Cad Bane, I'm a little bit more excited all of a sudden,
It's literally like Boba Fett, who is the baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy, having to confront a version of himself he no longer is the baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy. There's utility there.
Yeah.
You know?
So I do like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, Luke Skywalker had utility of showing up to save everyone, the Grogu and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
But it is also fan service. But I loved it because, like, hey, what are we going to do? How are we going to get out of here?
Mhm.
These things are so hard, we can't beat them. Who could possibly beat these? Maybe that guy.
It's also a great behind-the-scenes video of Dave Filoni talking about how important it was to nail exactly how Luke fights with his lightsaber. He's like, look, he's not going to look as good as Ahsoka. Ahsoka has, like, proper saber training from saber masters. Luke kind of has to figure this stuff out on his own. He had, like, a couple of days with Obi-Wan, or like a day with Obi-Wan,
Sure.
and, like, maybe, like, a month / a weird time dilation, but we don't know of any actual saber training he did with Yoda.
Like, Return of the Jedi, like, he looks a lot more like baseball batty, right?
Well, he is. It's very wide stance, Excalibur fighting, you know? And this is just a faster version of that. But they definitely, in their choreography, tried to keep, like, you know, drag his leg a little bit. Make sure his lines aren't, you know, he doesn't often go one-handed. He usually stays with the two, you know? So what they did was just perfect what he's already been.
Sure.
Not give him new stuff.
What does he look like here?
Mhm.
What would, like, a better version of this look like, kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? He's had more years doing these fights, potentially.
Yeah.
What would that person look like?
Mhm.
Whereas, like, our lightsaber styles, like, we also grew up watching other versions of fights, like other Jedi fights and stuff like that too.
Mhm.
So, like, whenever you and I do lightsaber fights, we have, like, those things that we think of and that we pull from and stuff too.
Absolutely.
But, like, what examples does he have of fighting?
Mhm.
Maybe he watched, you know, Tusken Raiders fighting on Tatooine.
Sure.
So, like, he has, like, I've seen people fight with those sticks, you know,
Yeah.
with gaffy sticks. Maybe that has some, like, relevance to how he
Mhm.
fights with a lightsaber. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Yep.
what does he have to pull from?
Mhm.
So,
All right, everybody. Those were our top Luke Skywalker moments. Did we have something, or was there a moment that wasn't on our list that you really like? Make sure you're going down in the comments letting us know.
yeah.